Hello and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be looking at a few charts and we'll talk about the prices because Bitcoin has been doing very well. It's now on an uptrend once again, so it's time to see the activity, the action. What can we expect? Now I'm going to look at DOT, I'm going to look at Injective, I'm going to look at TIA. I'm also going to look at Dymension as well because that's another hot one, and also Manta. So we'll take a quick look at each chart. I'm not going to spend too much time on them, but before we get in, I just want to quickly mention this specific post here on X by Joto, who's a DOT activist. He's also a Polkadot whale. He holds a lot of DOT. It's public information. There's no hiding. And he's thinking to come up with an idea to improve Polkadot as a whole, right? In terms of marketing, in terms of an ambassador program, in terms of many things. And now one of his recent ideas is with regards to building an EVM chain on Polkadot that uses Polkadot. Okay, so it's going to be mostly on Asset Hub, I guess, because you can't really build on Polkadot because Polkadot is a relay chain. But you can build on Asset Hub, which is a system parachain that uses DOT as the native cryptocurrency. So I'm assuming that's probably what he's referring to here, and he's thinking of calling it Open EVM. And I'm guessing any developer who has some idea and who knows how to develop in Rust and knows Substrate, the framework, they can submit a proposal on OpenGov, and then it'll get voted if the idea is good. So this is my assumption here that there could be some situation here where some development team could come up with some idea and just launch it. Now, one of the concerns in the community with regards to this idea is that other major L1s at the moment, such as Sui, such as Aptos, are much faster when it comes to their EVM solutions than Asset Hub could potentially be, which has the 6 seconds block time as per Polkadot. And so, this is the big question right now is like, can this actually solve the problem to make it faster than those chains, or at least the same as those chains? Like, what would actually attract users to build on this specific EVM, right? That's what you got to ask yourself. So that remains to be answered, right? It's one of those open questions that it's still early. I mean, you just recently posted this. So yeah, I want to get your thoughts if you have any development experience or just in general, like what do you think of this idea to generate more utility for DOT? Because right now we've got Moonbeam, which is an EVM solution. It's a big one in the ecosystem. They've been around for a long time, but they use their own native cryptocurrency, which is Glimmer. So it's not really bringing benefit to the DOT holders. So we'll have to see how this plays out and if the community will push this idea forward by launching a proposal, because that's what I want to see, a proposal on chain. So with that being said, yeah, just check out this post here by Joto DF. That's his handle if you want to check it out on X. But let's move on here and look at the chart. So I'm going to start off with DOT, and this is on the 5-minute chart. As you can see, we're in an uptrend right now because it's above the red line, which is the 100-day smoothed moving average, as I said in previous videos. And we've bounced nicely, really, really nicely on the DOT here, as you can see, just basically peekabooed a little bit below the 50-day moving average. And we're now pushing above the 21-day moving average, which is the white line, which is great to see because it is getting ready to go up higher. So now what can we expect given that we have broken out of that downtrend, which was terrible? I mean, we were down to like what, $7.06, $7.02. We didn't at least go back to like 650, when we did pull back after we had that initial pop. But with this nice breakout, it's definitely bullish, and you can expect traders buying this now, especially on this very first green candle, because what a lot of people tend to do is if they miss the breakout here, because this is the ideal place to get in. If you're a trader, you obviously know this. If you're a trader, if you're actively trading, if you're not, just know that this is, as per technical analysis books, this is a good place to buy the breakout. Because why? Well, this last green bar here, as you can see, took out the previous high. Okay, so that means we're changing trends. And then you get the red bar, which is the pullback. It's a small pullback, but then as soon as you get the next green bar, that's the next buy signal with a stop loss, usually below this line, okay? Usually below this red line. And now if you would have done that, it could have possibly stopped you here. And that's why I personally prefer to wait the 5 minutes, because this was on a 5-minute chart, and then to wait for the next green bar, because that would be confirmation that we're going higher. Because that's the thing, like when you're buying this and you're putting your stop loss just underneath that, it could stop you out unless you want to give it more room. Like if you feel comfortable, because of the risk to reward ratio is pretty good usually. Like if you feel comfortable just to maybe place it around here, give it some room and then ride it all the way up until you get your 2x or 3x, depending on your leverage, of course. So to me, this is a pretty good run now. It's probably not too late to get in. I'm still thinking if I should or I shouldn't place a long here, because this still has some room to go in my opinion. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a double top here. It could just go to like 736, and that's only like what, less than 10 cents from this. But I am expecting this to go higher, to be fair. I'm expecting this to go higher, and I'll tell you why. Because if we look at the 1 hour chart here, let's zoom out a bit just to get an idea. If you look at this chart here, so you can see that right now we are at the resistance area here. We do encounter a lot of resistance here. Now the next area that we could be going to is around $8, because we had dropped $8 multiple times, and we've been consolidating here before when we had a nice run up to 950. You see we've consolidated around $8, $8. We kept retesting that area, and then we moved a bit higher, and then bang, we had that drop because of Bitcoin, and that screwed us, right? Otherwise we could have probably moved higher, probably, right? It could have been a bull flag. And so, you know, $8 is going to be the next area of resistance that I'm expecting here. So to me, it's like 730 now, but I am expecting this again with a high probability, not a guaranteed probability. It could very well go back down, but with a high probability that we could eventually see $8, because what usually happens is when Bitcoin does such a massive run up, like to go up to 50K like it did today, then usually alts follow in a day or two. So they need some time for consolidation. Here with this wide range green bar that took out that previous resistance, you know, it is looking bullish here. So yeah, on the 1 hour chart, as you can see, we're just on the first green bar here. We're closing it very, very soon here. In just 7 minutes, we're about to close this bar, and it's going to close in green. And then the next bar could be even higher. Like I said, it's not guaranteed, but high probability of maybe around 60%. I like to say 60% because you can't really say 70, 80, but it's more than 50, right? We're definitely in an uptrend, so there's more than 50% chance that this could continue going higher from a technical analysis perspective. Now looking at Injective here, Injective, unlike Polkadot, is constantly putting in a higher high, as you can see here with each new pop here. And it's on this major green bar here. It's not pulling back, it's going higher. $36.90. Now I'm obviously happy because I hold an Injective bag, so I'm biased, I'm happy, but I don't hold an Injective bag for a leverage trade. Okay, I wish I could have gotten in this because this could have been good for leverage trade. I'm staking Injective right now for the airdrops, as I mentioned in a previous video. But this is definitely looking bullish here. If we look at the 1 hour chart here, we can see that the last time we went to close to $39.39. That was the peak that we've seen here. So it could very well retest that area, right? It's definitely looking more bullish than before because we put in a higher high than we did before here. And then on this one, it's higher than the previous two. So it's definitely in that bullish momentum right now. We are again encountering a little bit of a resistance around this area, but it's not something that Injective can't break. We've seen Injective, once it's on a run up, it can go insane. And again, with the airdrop narrative, while it's still ongoing right now, you can expect a lot of fuel in the fire here because a lot of Injective is being staked right now. So it's not in circulation, and that is bullish. Like Injective is pretty much one of the few coins that I'm still bullish on because most of the coins are unlocked. So what you see in staking right now is what's in circulation. It's not like VCs are going to get more coins to dump on you or anything. They had plenty of time to do that throughout 2022 and 2023. And so, you know, yeah, I mean, the price is high, you could argue. Like we've seen $45 already, as you can see here. So what's to say this can't go higher, right? Again, there's plenty of room for this to go higher. And it's just the way this chart is moving up nicely as well. It's not like the same as this one. As you can see, this one was kind of calling for a pullback because it was too sudden. As you can see, that like the shape is too sudden here, whereas this one is like a slow consolidation to the upside, right? So it could just do this and then head back to this area here of around $39 before we'll find out what's going to happen. And so for me personally, I'm still considering taking a trade here, although I wish I could have gotten into this area here on 35, around 34.70 here. I think this would have been awesome to get in at because of this bounce that we had off the 100-day moving average on the 1 hour chart. This could have been amazing to get in at. Even here, like this could have been really, really good. And I do feel bad for not getting in and missing this out. Now it is super extended right now, as you can see on the 1 hour chart. So It could put in a new green bar here, but I'm expecting a bit of a consolidation maybe before it goes higher, just because of the way this has moved here. But again, it's crypto, anything could happen, so we don't know for sure. And next, let's look at Celestia. Again, I'm holding it, so I am a bit biased, but I have not taken a trade. Okay, I'm staking it, but I haven't taken a trade. So yeah, it bounced nicely, as you can see here, back on the 7th of February off the 100-day moving average. Again, this is on the 1 hour chart. And then it moved into the uptrend already. So when it got to like 1825, 1839, 1840, like it was already in the uptrend. At least here, it basically gave us confirmation because it took this previous high here. All of them actually, in fact. This was like very clear confirmation that we're moving into the uptrend. And so, you know, it would have been good to take a trade here on the 8th of February, 4 days ago, to ride this baby out for a swing trade, not for a day trade. I prefer to day trade and to scalp. This would have been good if you're a swing trader. To keep that trade in for a few days and then exit around 2060 here. Wow, that would have been so nice. As soon as you get that confirmation of a downtrend starting again, like with a pullback here, then that's pretty much time to exit and just take your reward, if depending on when you got in, right? Like I said, if you would have gotten in here, like you're already probably 2x depending on your leverage, maybe 3x on profit. And so why not, right? Just take it. So what can we expect? Like it pretty much has to break this high here from the 10th of February, where it went to $20.97, which broke the previous high, which was $20.20. So I mean, you already put in a new all-time high here. So, you know, there's just no telling what it could do right now. There's still some time before the unlock, so I wouldn't be worried. Regardless of market conditions, like sometime around August, I do want to unstake, because we have seen disastrous events happen with major unlocks from VCs before. And so because these VCs got in at a super low price, they're very, very incentivized to sell. And many people have set alerts to sell around September. And so that's why I want to sell around August to give it even more time. You know, and you may call me crazy because if it's a bull market, the bull market can absorb it. But I don't feel comfortable holding something that's probably going to be overly pumped anyway by September if the bull market does continue. So it all depends on Bitcoin's price. But overall, I'm happy to stay in stable coins. If I can get like another 2x out of this, I'll be happy. Of course, it could go much higher because of the airdrop narrative. But for me, like if I can get a 2x out of this, although it's not looking very likely, like even 1.5x, even 50%, I'll be happy. I'll take it. I'm fine. I'm not going to regret it if it does happen to go higher. It is what it is. You can always make money off other cryptocurrencies because that's why there's such a vast amount out there. So no hard feelings whatsoever. And looking at the Dymension chart, it's at $7.37 right now. This is on the 1 hour chart. The all-time high that he put in here was at $8.36. Then it tried again here, and then it just started consolidating. But now, even though it tried to break down here, it is looking for another leg up here. So it is looking bullish. There's a lot of fuel in the fire for this one. You know, and with the airdrop narrative, because this is so new and the team have announced that there will be airdrops if you're staking Dymension with various validators, you know, to me, that's pretty bullish to hold this. And again, it may be too late. You may be thinking, well, it's already taken off, but you got to look at it from this point of view, right? Look at the Bitcoin price, first of all, right? What is Bitcoin right now? It's way below its all-time high from 2021. So until it breaks that all-time high, then there's no real concern, right? It's still early. Of course, there could be the chance that perhaps something could happen that could trigger a major dump here with the current Bitcoin price. And if that happens, then you're in big trouble, right? But even so, when Bitcoin gets to like 60K, 70K, 80K, there's a very high probability that this is probably going to put in another 30, maybe 50%. Okay, this is just my assumption here based on what we've seen happen with the Bitcoin price being low. So, you know, what's to say, with market conditions, with hype, the team are not going to be sleeping. They're not going to let you dump so easily. They're going to be hyping the heck out of you, right? This is the reality. Like, these teams know exactly how to market and how to keep you engaged. Like, they even convinced me to sell my e-gold just to buy this Dymension stuff, right? And it's just an airdrop of an airdrop if you think about it. So it just shows you that there is a lot of hype, a lot of demand, and it generates FOMO, you know? So I do believe, given what they're doing, that this does have a lot more room to go up. Again, it could 2x from here, it could try, we don't know, right? It's just speculation, but I personally feel comfortable that this has more room, but I could be wrong. Again, it's just my personal opinion, so I just want to make that very clear. Next, let's look at Manta here. So Manta's all-time high is around 390, okay? So Manta's had a major pullback to this support area here of 250. Okay, this is the area that we've seen here, and it's consolidated nicely around this area. I've mentioned to you before that I'm expecting 250 for Manta, and it did happen. It did go to that area, right? Not exactly 250, but around it, right? It was like 256, 253. Then it went back up to 290, and then it started consolidating nicely here, and now it wants to move into the uptrend, but not yet, right? It's above the uptrend here. It's above the red line. Okay, so you may argue it's in an uptrend because it broke out over here, but until we get these moving averages, the smoothed moving averages crossing over the red line, so both the 21-day and the 50-day to cross above the red line, then we're still in that consolidation territory. We're still like somewhat in between the uptrend and the downtrend right now. So we definitely need to see this happen. And it does look like, if you look on the 1 hour chart, it's probably going to take another 5 or 6 hours. But in 5 or 6 hours, if this continues to go up here, like even to like $3, I'm expecting the crossover to happen, and then boom, over $3. You know, that's what I'm expecting here. So, you know, should I take a trade right now? I don't know. I'm still a bit confused right now, but if I do see some sort of pullback here and then another green bar, I may consider it if I don't miss it, right? I'm probably going to set alerts, but it depends when it happens. Usually if this happens very late, I'm not going to wake up just to be able to take this trade. And I like to watch it as well. Like, I don't like to set like specific price targets and to buy at that specific price with a stop loss and a take profit if it reaches it, because I like to watch the activity to see what had actually happened before it got to that point, you know? Because in certain scenarios, it may not be wise to enter anymore if there's been like a zigzag movement or something, you know. So that's why I prefer to be active and to watch it when I take that trade, and then I would set the stop loss and then step away from it to not take any crazy decision. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely potential here for Manta to go higher, but until we break out of this $3 area, I'm still not very bullish. Like, we need to see $3 broken, and then we could move into the upside here for Manta, and Manta holders are going to be happy. That's all from today. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely evening. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.